Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. It's Sunday, I believe. Today we have Claudia joining us. Hi.
Hey everyone, hi Ioana.
So we are going to be setting up our April bullet journal spread, but before I thought we'd chat a little bit about what Claudia does online and the bullet journaling that she does. She also loves to watercolor. Do you use other mediums, by the way, Claudia, for painting?
Yeah, I also like acrylics, but I've just started experimenting with that a while ago, so still learning.
Cool.
But I really love painting in general.
Yeah, I love all of your monthly setups and whatnot, so I'm very excited to set up today. I've so far just written out my habit tracker. This is how I do my monthlies. I'm very curious, what do you usually create in your monthlies? Is it a calendar or do you habit track as well?
Usually for my monthly setup, like I do a little calendar and then just a very important session for me, which is like focusing on important tasks, goals, and readings that I'm doing through that month. And then I usually do the habits in a second moment or as part of other pages. So yeah, basically I would say the cover page, the calendar, and a few other not really trackers but like lists of tasks and goals are my most important pages.
Amazing. And can you tell us a bit more about yourself? What do you do beyond the bullet journaling and the beautiful spreads that we see online?
Sure. Yeah. So actually, I'm a linguist. So I studied linguistics when I was at uni. And then I was very lucky. So I found a job that helps me using that with technology. So now I work in speech technology. So like, the chatbots and the voice assistants. And when you complain that your phone is not understanding you well, it's like, I'm working on that. We're trying to make it better. So like that kind of technology. So it's really not an artistic or creative job, you would say. But then I think this is why I've also always had growing up another part of me that was drawing or painting or, interested in art and everything. And since my job really takes up a lot of my time lately, so this is also why I use bullet journals or in general journaling to both organize and escape a bit, the dull days sometimes. So I really like to use that in a functional way too.
That's so cool. How many languages do you know? Is that part of the training that you did? I know linguistics is more so, well, there are different parts or components to linguistics, right? You can specialize in different types of things.
Yeah, no, that's completely true. Actually, so some people think that a linguist is someone that speaks a lot of languages, but that doesn't have to be, right? Because as you were saying, like linguistics is the science of language in the sense that you study how a language can work, how a language can be reproduced, for example, by a machine, or why do we learn stuff in a certain way, or how do children start learning languages and not other stuff in certain ways. So it's very interesting. But I did do languages and literatures before getting there. So actually, so I'm Italian, but I'm living in Spain, and I actually graduated in English and German. So, and I don't really speak German anymore. So sorry about that. But no, I love languages. I wish I had time to learn, more languages now.
That's incredible. And I guess before we flip over the camera and start working on our April spreads, what inspired you to actually start sharing your bullet journaling online and like creating all of this account online?
I think what really inspired me to try and putting myself out there was seeing all the other people in the community doing stuff, because I used to have I don't know, my little work of my little pages. But something that really caught my attention was seeing on Instagram, mainly, people sharing these beautiful spreads that look like very curated, very useful. And I started getting an interest in what they were doing. And then decided, you know what, I also want to try to be a part of this. I want to see, reaching out, not only putting like and commenting, but also trying to share what I'm learning, what I'm doing, because as everybody, we start from, just trying, and then we we get more experience in some stuff that we like most. Like I tried experimenting different stuff. And so it really motivated me to see other people. And then when I started, posting and knowing people in the community, I was really happy because I think it's one of the most, welcoming and inspiring group of creatives that we have on Instagram. So I'm really glad, and thanks to all the people that are, commenting and joining, because you are a part of this. So thank you.
That's absolutely true. I think it's such an uplifting community, and it also is so inspiring because everyone has their own unique styles and ways of doing things, like you said, in a functional way, but also, making them beautiful or creative. So that's very true. So maybe we can flip our cameras around and get started. And I wanted to ask everyone who's watching a question. Can you let us know if you've already set up for April, or if you're going to, what theme are you going to use for your setup? And Claudia, we kind of teased what the theme is going to be. Do you want to share maybe a little bit more? You don't have to share the entire theme, or if you want to, you can, but what is our theme for today?
Of course, of course. No, actually, I don't have, just a second, I'm just changing camera. Let me see if you go. So I'm doing my theme here with you. I only did a couple things.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to use for this month is going to be a kind of dreamy, like nighttime, bedtime story kind of thing, because I really wanted to do something about books this month.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started drafting it, I realized that maybe because I was craving some more sleep, I don't know, but like I started mixing up the book with this more of a night with clouds and stars feeling. And it really reminded me of a bedtime story, like bedtime storybooks. So it's going to be this kind of relaxed book type of theme.
That sounds awesome. And I love that it's interactive too.
Yeah, and so
creative.
Yeah. So as you will see, I added a little kind of door, and we will do that together. Just, I don't know, just to put basically two things in the same page. Sometimes it's not only about it pretty, it's also about making it functional, right? So I just added my little calendar in the pages.
Cool.
So I don't know what you guys are using. I think Ioana already mentioned so I'm going to use my bullet journal. Mm-hmm. And we're also going to use some extra pieces of paper for our door, let's say kind of Dutch door thingy.
So kind of craft paper.
I'm using craft paper, for example. You can use white one, like whichever works for you. And then I'm going to use some markers just for drawing and coloring. Then, of course, a pencil to sketch, and then some washi tapes here to decorate.
Sounds good.
And if there's anything that you want me to, show you more in detail or to tell you what I'm using, just ask.
And I'm keeping an eye on the comments as well. So let us know what you are using as your theme if you're watching, everyone. And also, I forgot to mention, if you have any questions for Claudia to take at the end, just leave them in the question box. It's at the bottom with a question mark. So I've got paper ready here too. I think I've got this parchment pad that I've had for quite a while, and I was thinking to go for a slightly greenish theme.
Mm-hmm.
So. And I think you have like a sketch on there, right, Claudia? How
I do. Mm-hmm.
Should I do a little sketch as well then?
Of course. And I'm just gonna, add some details to it now, because I always sketch my cover pages and my pages with a pencil before getting started, because it helped me to plan ahead what I'm putting in the page.
Okay.
So for my cover page, which will also contain the calendar, I'm going to sketch a book, which of course for me is going to be something like a storybook, like a novel or something. And then, since I wanted to add this dreamy nighttime feeling to it, I'm also drafting some clouds around it, like very, a simple line drawing just to guide you before using any markers.
And for drawing the book, I'm looking at your reference picture. So you kind of start with a rectangle, but you only round the right side, right?
So it creates a kind of a very slight perspective, right? Because we're looking at this as the cover. And then the spine of the book is going to be on the left side. And on the top, we could see some of the pages,
Yeah.
So it's a very slight perspective, but, you can do however you like it. And I'm not going to put anything on the cover for now, because as you'll see, the cover is the part that we will do with the other piece of paper.
Okay, right.
And then just to add some more decoration, we're making some clouds and a moon and some stars around it.
I'm very curious, do you do calligraphy as well, Claudia?
I do a bit. I actually should practice it more, but I really like using brush pens as well.
I really like the way you wrote the April. So
Oh, thank you.
when I have a sketch that Claudia made beforehand, it's kind of like a little model, I guess. So I have it in front of me, which I guess you can't see right now, but it looks really
We will all see it. And yeah, I really like lettering and calligraphing as well, but I'm nowhere near, some great accounts that are that are here too. Like some people are really, really talented. Every time I see some of the written stuff, I'm like, wow, how did you do that? Like
yes,
with your hand.
especially when it's all in one stroke, like with the calligraphy.
Yes.
I always do faux calligraphy, like pretend calligraphy, I suppose. I draw in cursive and then I just make the downstrokes bold.
You pick it up. Yeah. I do that too for some pages. I like it. It's just a different technique.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, when I tried like brush pens for the first time, it changed my life. I was like, oh, this is so nice and smooth. But you have to learn a bit.
Yeah.
To use it.
These clouds are so fun.
I really love clouds. Like I think they're very nice to draw.
Okay, I think I'm ready for now. I might get inspired and do some more decorations later.
Yeah, of course. I think me too. Let's just keep it simple for now.
Yes.
So I really like mixing media in general when I color in, and I would get started for this drawing with some markers. So I have some Crayola super tips here. And basically, usually when I go to the markers is where I'm also deciding a bit the palette of my theme,
Yes.
So like, I was thinking some soft but still playful tones. So I have this light blue, this very warm yellow, a warm and soft pink, another soft brown, and then a couple green, because I really love flowers and I know I will end up adding flowers somewhere, even if we are in a nighttime kind of setup.
I was just trying to work out how I can add a little bit of green or flowers.
Yeah, it's just, I really like them. And I was thinking of adding something on the cover page of the cover of our book. Or we can also, decorate with some little flowers around the clouds, because, this is our page and
yes.
we can do whatever we want with the decoration.
They can be floating.
Of course.
It makes me think a little bit of The Little Prince.
Yes, yeah, we're thinking the same, like with the roses, and it's nice. We should add roses. Let's do that.
Yes.
Afterward.
Okay, good.
So just to keep it simple, I'm just basically going over my outline with the thick part. Let me see if you can see this a bit better. With the thick part of the Crayola. So the effect is a pretty thick outline, as you can see. It doesn't have to be precise. It can be a bit messy because afterwards we will go over it with another color.
Oh, okay.
Just to add a bit more movement and a bit more color. Let me just switch to another color here.
I'm testing my markers. I'm using slightly, like they're these stationary island brush pens. They're, I think, watercolor. Like I think you can blend them out a bit, but maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't work so well. And it's just my papers are really thin. So if anyone's following along and you have thinner papers for markers, these like water-based ones work really well for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, my paper is pretty thick. This is the Notebook Therapy Tsuki journal. So I think the pages are like 160 GSM. And I'm really comfortable with this kind of paper. I think when I was using something thinner, I would always end up using paint or something, and it would just bleed on the other side.
I did that.
But I'm pretty comfortable with this. Sorry, tell me.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying I did that in February, and I didn't paint directly on the paper, but I painted on a thick cardstock, and it's just like very thick in the notebook. And when did you start bullet journaling, Claudia? And also, do you use it for work too?
So I started actually in a moment in which I was not really working. Basically, I was finishing my master's, and I had a lot to plan and to take into account because I was writing my thesis, my dissertation, and then when I was looking for a job, that was another moment in which I don't know, I felt like I needed to track a lot of stuff and also write down tasks to motivate me.
Yeah.
And so that's where, after having met, known some of these amazing artists on Instagram, I started saying, you know what, I'm also going to try that. And so that was 2018. So it's been, not even 4 years yet. But I really like it. And also it's interesting to see how it changes for everyone. Because, for example, I started off using only one bullet journal. But then, especially when I started working full time, I had to leave it. Not to leave it. I had to kind of integrate it with another planner that I have, which is just simple, agenda. Like, let me just show it to you. I have it here. So this is just monthly, yearly planner. So, just a kind of more plain agenda that I use for everything that is work related. So basically I have this for my work, so I can bring it with me every day. Also, it's thinner. And then I use my bullet journal for everything that is a bit more about my personal tasks, the self-care, habit tracking, pages that I also want to develop, not for planning, but because I like them, like the memory pages.
Yeah.
Or the month reviews, which are also very important for me. So I kind of use both of them right now.
Would it be strange to bring your bullet journal to work, given that you decorate it and you add so much, drawings into it?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, people are, in my experience, I've worked in a couple different places, and people do not really care about, what you like in your stationery and stuff. Like I would come across probably as a funny person in that sense, because also the stationery that I have at work is like very colorful and happy, and I don't know, with kittens and stuff. But like people are just like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
as long as it works for you. And I'm like, of course, I need a bit of color in my, in my desk at work.
Oh, yes. So that's kind of style, right? You like color, very colorful.
Yes, I do.
I've sometimes wondered that because even I'm I'm going to graduate in about 6 weeks. I'm a graduate degree, and when I used to decorate my bullet journal like a lot, and I bring my notebook to class and leave it open next to me while I was in lecture, I would get a little bit self-conscious because it would stand out a lot, you know.
I understand, but in my experience, like when people notice it, it's just because they're not really used to, making something creative or colorful.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you should absolutely do whatever you're comfortable with. But I did bring this to work as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, some people don't understand it just because they're not creative.
Yes.
So we won't expect them to understand.
And you're outlining the book as well, right? In brown?
Yes. So let me just zoom a bit on that. So I just did this very, simple outline of the clouds, a couple stars, and the book.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think if I should do it. Maybe everyone in the comments, if you can let me know what you think. I'm not sure if I should do the book in purple or in more of a black gray. I'm kind of going for a purple and green theme overall. So let me know if you...
I really like the purple. That's my opinion.
The purple? Okay.
I really like it. I don't know what you guys think. I think it's a very nice color.
Yeah, I've used this one so many times. It's like this lilac.
It's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm seeing purple. Okay, it's settled then.
You go. So I'm just adding some more like little yellow dots around, kind of small stars.
What other themes have you done in the past, Claudia?
So I think I've tried a lot of different stuff, I don't stick to one style, but I think I have a strong inclination for natural and flowery themes, like something that reminds of the natural world, either flowers or plants or leaves.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. And then something that I really liked was like one picnic theme that I did last year. I think it was last year. That was very funny. And I really liked how it came out, because you can try something else. It's a different setting. You have to draw something different from what you're used to. And I use watercolor too. And I really love how it came out. Sometimes I get a bit frustrated because I start with a very good theme idea, and then it's difficult to,
Yeah.
put it on the paper or to bring it to all the pages that you're planning to do.
Do you do that? You keep the theme throughout the entire month?
I try, but I sometimes fail. And when I say fail, of course, you're not really failing.
Yeah.
It's just like I've done both. Like sometimes I was starting with a theme just for maybe like we're doing today. Today we're doing these 2 pages, and these 2 pages will have kind of the same theme. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I would start with one theme and then just change it in the next page, just do another thing for the mood tracker, another thing for the habit tracker, and it just depends on how I felt it. But I think I like to try and have the same theme because it helps me seeing the whole month as a chapter,
Oh, yeah.
And then I like going back to it and be like, this theme, I liked it because of this, or I didn't like that before that.
That's so cool. I think when you have a theme and you keep it throughout the whole month, or even just taking the time at the start of the month to set something up, it does really kind of frame that whole month around, that little creative moment that you have.
I agree. I agree. And it's a really good moment for me to, sit down. Like today, it's Sunday. It's great. We're having a chat and we're doing some journaling, and it's a very good moment to relax.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What time is it where you are right now, by the way?
So right now in Spain, it's 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be Central Europe. And I think like I messaged you a couple days ago, we still haven't switched to summertime.
Yes.
So we're still on different on different time zones.
It's strange.
Like there was a
I think they're talking about like not doing the switch anymore. I don't know. I read an article about that. But it's
yeah, I do too.
different parts of the world switch to like EST or EDT, daylight saving, or what was the other one?
Yeah, daylight saving. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure.
Someone in the comments asked, are you both using mild liner? So, no, I'm using Stationery Island brush pens. And what were you using again, Claudia?
So I'm using Crayolas, but I'm switching now to use something that looks like mild liners, but actually is a pastel highlighter from String & Space.
Wow.
And they also have some very, very nice colors. I actually never gotten to buy mild liners. I really want them.
Mm-hmm.
I really like their colors, but well, when I found this option, I'm also very happy with them. And they have this double tip, like the highlighter tip and the fine liner tip.
Are they, I mean, maybe you wouldn't know if you haven't tried the mild liners, but are they pretty much the same? Can you use them as highlighters?
Yeah, you can use them as highlighters. The only thing is, I don't know. I know that mild liners also have kind of a more medium tip. Like this is a very fine tip, for example.
Oh, okay.
And I think they also have another one. Yeah. So if you have it, I know there is like so that's a bit bigger, I think. So maybe it's easier to to color with them, while this one is a bit fine.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yes, but they do look similar. And I was now just going to take the fine tip to do kind of a second outline. And as you can see, it's not really a continuous line. It's more like, let me see if you can see this okay. Let me see if I can get the light better. Maybe this is better for you guys. So it's not really a continuous line. It looks like half dot, half solid.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like that it adds some kind of depth to the drawing. Like there is a two color stars now. So I'm using just a light orange to double outline the stars and the moon. And then I'll use another light blue or blue for the clouds as well. But this is just something that I like to do as a final look. So
I'm thinking of doing it with a black marker, but a thin, because I don't have as many different variations of the same color, so I don't want to.
Eyeliner. I understand. I think it would look great with a fine liner, like a black fine liner too.
Yeah.
Just to give some more defined outline, since this is a darker, finer color.
Yes. Oh, that's such a cool effect. I like it.
Yeah, I like how yours is turning out. I really like some it's weird with outlines, right? Sometimes you do them and you're like, oh, this looks great, and sometimes it's better not to do them. But I like it when the border is so thick and colored,
Yeah, it's kind of
definition.
like with graphic artists, I think they often make the outline thicker. So you'll see, a drawing of a girl and the very outline of her is very thick. like the tip is thick that they used, but then the inside details of her face and whatnot are thin.
Yeah, you're right. That's a nice effect. What about you, Yana? What are you studying now? You're graduating, right? You said?
Yes, I'm studying commerce at Queen's University. It's in
Mhm.
Kingston, Ontario, so in Canada, and I'm mostly specializing in marketing and economics, but we don't really have like my degree won't really say marketing or any economics. That's just the courses.
No,
And
no, I understand what you mean.
I'm also doing a thesis right now. It's, an undergraduate research project, so not exactly a master's thesis or anything like that. But yeah, I heard you mention that you did a dissertation. Did that involve any experiments, or was it kind of like a literature review? You read papers and you.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we do. I did both because, before going after to my master's, in Italy, I did like a bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
And usually in bachelor's degree in Italy, when they are 3 years, you never do a real dissertation at the end. It's mainly yeah, like you said, a reading, a review of something, and maybe you try to explain a point of view that you have of something, but it's always on theory.
Yes.
So it was on literature, and it was on specifically on romantic literature.
Oh wow. And the language in
And
it, or the literature, like it was literature focused?
sorry, say that again.
Was it about the language that they use, something about the linguistic elements of romantic literature?
Also, it was both, right? Because I was doing languages and literature and linguistics, and so a part of it was about the what are they saying in the sense of why is what they're saying important to my point, and another part was about the actual language they were using, and why was it important that they use this word with this, in this form and not this one. Um, so I really liked it. I don't know how many of you know that there's a British poet, Coleridge, and he's the one that wrote that poem about the albatross and the ancient mariner.
The Albert.
And there's like, it's called the Ancient Mariner, and it's just like this old sailor in a wedding that starts telling his story, the story about how they were in the sea, and there's a storm,
Uh-huh.
and they are saved by an albatross, which of course, is a symbol.
Oh wow.
And the poem is really beautiful. The story is very interesting. And then, I was just talking about what the albatross may represent, the nature, the man against the nature, and all of this. So I really loved literature. It's just, as you know, less practical than some other studies.
Wow. I haven't actually heard of this poem. I just Googled it. It's really long.
Yeah, it's a long poem.
That's like a story as well. Wow. And I know what you mean with, I guess like the being practical. I really love doing creative things. And when I was in high school applying for university, I was wondering if I should go like the computer science route or the math route. I guess, I kind of ended up in between a little bit with the marketing and economics, but it's hard to balance that stuff. But I think, like you said at the beginning, with having your decorated bullet journal in class, I think it's go with what you love.
Yeah, and then, so I finished my bachelor's and I wanted something else, something more connected to the technological world and AI.
Mhm.
And so I found this master's, which was in Edinburgh, in Scotland. And that was completely different, that was a very scientific point of view.
Yeah.
And so I got the chance to do something that I liked with literature, and then something that I liked in another place with more experimental stuff. And then now I'm working in something else. So I think you can always have the chance to go behind something that you like. It's not only one path, right?
Yeah. And yeah, that's so true. And various ways to turn it into something more as well.
So how's your outline coming out?
Oh yeah.
I think I'm done with mine.
Mine is good. I haven't outlined the book though. Did you outline the book? I
No,
can't.
not yet, mainly because now we're gonna put the cover on the book, you know?
Yes.
So I just erased all the marks of the pencil marks that were still around. And then, as I was telling you, I got some craft paper,
Mm-hmm.
and we should cut out like a little page that should fit more or less your cover, you know, the cover of the book. So I had done this already today. So I have something like this. I use craft paper, but then you say Ioana is using another kind of paper, and you can just use, you know, a page of your bullet journal if for whatever reasons you had to cut it out. I'm just using craft paper because I really like the feeling and the color,
Yes.
but then you can cover color over the page without any problem.
I'm using a slightly green tinted parchment paper. Okay, I've got it ready. I'm all good.
Perfect.
Just doing the edges.
So now this will be the cover of our book, right? We will be just pasting, well, actually sealing down with some washi tape to the spine our cover.
Mhm.
And then we will have these 2 pages.
Oh,
And what I was thinking was putting a little calendar inside the 2 pages.
so cute. I love it.
So let me just go back to this. First of all, before taping this down, I wanted to add a little title and some decoration. So I'm going to letter April here at the top, and then do a little drawing that I will paste probably, since my paper is so dark. I will do a little drawing on some white paper and then just paint it here, just to make it look like a little, you know, book cover, something like this. And then we will use some decorative tape to stick it to the spine.
Mhm. Sorry, I was just gonna ask. Are you drawing a rose or something else, some other flower?
Yeah. Actually, since I had prepared this beforehand, I'm gonna do something like this.
Oh,
So you see, this is just a little drawing of 2 flowers, this rose and this other flower. And I just did the same that we were doing together, right? So use the markers and then some finer marker to do the outline.
mhm. Okay.
And then just draw a little outline in blue. So I like it because it adds this bit of green to our page. But then we were saying before that maybe we could be adding some little flowers around. So I think I'll do that too.
Okay.
So
I'm looking
just
at
to
how you drew the
again.
rose. Do you have any tips on drawing roses?
So as I was telling you, I really love in general like drawing flowers and stuff, but I don't have like a perfect technique. For roses, if they are going to be a bit doodle-like, you know, it's not really realistic,
Mhm.
like these ones, what I would do is just with a lighter color, so I have a light pink here. Just gonna wait a second, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna get a lighter pink, and then let me see, something that is a bit darker, like a darker pink. Actually, this one's better. And then something a bit darker just for the outline, as we were saying.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this one.
So I usually just take one color and I make some kind of semi circles, you know,
Mhm.
this way.
That's the lighter color, right?
It is, yes. It's a very soft rose pink. Then I'm gonna do another one next to it. You know, just can be a bit messy. We don't really mind it.
How do you practice not just roses, but flowers in general? Do you usually use reference photos of flowers or you just...
I do, yeah, yeah. I really love, practicing flowers. I have like somewhere like so many random pieces of paper with flowers sketched on them.
Mhm.
And also with watercolors, I really like trying flowers with watercolor because it's just so delicate and watery, and all the colors mix up.
Yes.
And so what I'd like to do is either taking pictures or going, if you go on Pinterest or YouTube, and there's a lot of inspiration for like drawing of flowers, because sometimes, and I think this is true for many people, it's very difficult to work from a picture, like to do a drawing from a picture. And if you're practicing, you could do a drawing from another drawing.
Yes.
And you're like, this is how the person did, gave the impression that these petals were like this. So I like to look at other people's work and try to reproduce it.
Hmm. I do the same thing. It's a little bit easier to use someone else's interpretation. I really,
So,
I think.
oh, yours are so cute. They're already perfect.
Thank you. And then
So yeah, tell me.
the darker one, right?
Yeah, I would just add some other, shape with the darker one. Again, it adds a bit more definition and it gives you the impression that we have two colors in the rose. Sorry, just need to pull my curtain in a second. The sun decided to come out for the first time this week.
Oh, that's
Right
good.
now.
It's really gloomy over here too.
There you go. I think this is better for the picture. So yeah, so I just added a bit of this, and if you want, you can put some more, with some more detail with the fine liner. But actually, this already gives you the idea, right?
Yeah.
Kind of impressionist. Like you don't have to look too close. You just have to feel like, okay, these are roses.
You did yours a little bit dotted too. I really like that effect.
Yeah, I think they look nice. A bit more spontaneous. I don't know.
Hmm.
And then, same for a couple of leaves. So I use the light green first. And then again, oh, sorry, wrong tip. And then again with another one, just gonna do a bit of the shadow or a bit of outline,
Hmm.
like this.
I'm so focused right now. So cool.
Perfect. And then the last thing that I added, yeah, it's so cute. I really love how yours came out.
Thank you.
Super nice. The last thing I added to this one was like this little frame with a eyeliner because I thought it looked very nice all together. But you can do it if you want to.
Okay, I'm all set.
Perfect. And before pasting this or sticking it with whatever you want to use, I'm going to do the title, okay? So I'm going to letter April here.
Ooh. I'm pausing to just watch. That looks so great.
Thank you. Okay, so here you go. So I used a Tombow brush pen. This is a Fudenosuke. They are a bit expensive here, at least in my country, but I really love the effect because it's easy to do this finer, wider line effect.
Mhm.
Like, you know, I actually also letter with Crayolas and all sort of stuff. I really like it. Let me do another test with a different pen. So I'm using this one now.
Are Crayolas your favorite supply that you, or one that you use the most often?
The thing is that, you know, I don't know if they ship to other countries, but they have this very useful 50 color box. So, and it was not it was actually also a good quality price ratio. So, you know, I saw other people using them and I tried them and I really like them for coloring, you know.
Mhm.
The only thing is that they're also water-based, right? So the thing is that, I don't know if you can see it here, you cannot really do much layering because every time you go over your line, you would see, I think you cannot really see it here, but let me do.
I know what you mean. Like it kind of blends together, right?
It doesn't blend too much, that's the problem. Have a look at, you know, the lines here.
Mhm.
So it depends, if this is something that you like, that's fine. But if you were looking for something more, you know, all blended together, that's a bit more difficult with these ones.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Like the Copic markers, I think, are really good for not doing that.
Those are professional. Yeah. That's a good example. Those are very nice. And but yeah, so when I found the Crayolas, I was happy with, you know, the results, and I was like, okay, a lot of colors, and I'm gonna try them out.
Mhm. It's
And then
colors.
yeah, very nice. And then if you know, if you want to use something with this tip to letter, you can also do that. Let me see something similar because they have this kind of wider
Mhm.
point, so you could do the same.
Oh, that turned out so nice.
Yeah, it's another example.
Wow.
Just different size, you know.
And I'm doing it like this. This is what I meant by faux calligraphy earlier.
For calligraphy. It's very nice too. I really like your A.
Thank you. I copied yours. I saw how you did your swoosh and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to try that.
It turned out great.
Okay.
I'm just assembling the cover, see if I want to add something else.
And I'm going to take a look. We have a few questions, so I'm going to ask you those. For Claudia, how did you become so good with art, watercolors, and your beautiful bullet journal spreads?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you. You're too kind. And as we were saying before, just a lot of practice, really, and looking at all the other amazing artists that we have on the on Instagram. Like there's a lot of people that you know, on YouTube too. There's a lot of really talented people out there, and you look how they work. You ask them for recommendations. You try and try and try, and then you know, you actually really get there. You really improve. I've seen some people really starting from zero and then becoming incredible artists, and I'm like, wow, I can really see all the work you've done, and that's amazing. And then, of course, there is a lot of stuff that you do not see on my profile, which is the stuff that doesn't turn out good. So that one is hidden. But that's the process, right? So really, there's you just try a lot, and basically, yeah, you just don't give up because in the end, you're doing it for yourself, right? So it's not a problem if it doesn't turn out the way you wanted the first time.
Yeah, that's so true. And do you consider art to be a talent or a skill?
Well, that's a tough question. I think there's both parts, right? because some people may be very, very skilled at something, but some other may think that's not artistic.
Mm-hmm.
While some people may be very artistic, but it's difficult to see, how can I say, like the technique in what they're doing, right? Because maybe it's an art that is very, very personal.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's a bit of both, and it really depends on your style.
That's such a good point. Yeah, I haven't thought of that that approach to it. I've wondered that question before, and one of the things that I thought of was that a lot of art is looking at an object, at least if you're using references and things, or like drawing roses, and seeing how you can render that on paper, like seeing the shapes within the object or seeing the different colors within the pink that you see. And I think that can be something that, I don't know, I guess I still wouldn't say it's a talent, but I think those kinds of things might come a little bit easier to some people than others, but it can still be learned. I think it's like a skill to develop.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was the case for you, but like since I was little, people were saying that I drew well, you know, like well for a 5-year-old, you know, so like the other 5-year-olds were not drawing that well. But then, and maybe at the beginning you have a knack for it, but then if you do not practice it, you don't develop it, you know, you probably get stuck to a point.
Yeah.
And then some people, maybe they're not that good at the beginning, but then they really develop a skill for it. So yeah, I agree with you. There is something that maybe is innate, but then a lot of it is practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we are ready with our covers, sorry, tell me.
No, I was just looking through some of the other questions, but I'll ask them later on.
No, please, whichever you prefer.
I think we can do a bit more on the book and then flip around after.
That's perfect. We're almost done. So to add some more decoration and to paste it to our book, I'm going to use this washi tape. So actually, this comes from one of your collection from the washi tape. Is this one? I really love these ones. They are beautiful.
Yeah.
I think the colors are so nice, and you know, it's a very simple pattern, so you can use it for whatever.
Oh, I forgot to mention, we have a spring sale on. If you're watching and you wanted to grab any of the washi tapes that we're talking about, there's a spring sale for 18% off, so check that out.
So I'm just, you know, just pasting half of it on our cover. And then I'm just going to try to match it with the book spine. Let me see.
I think I'm going to use this. These are part of a set. I'm not sure if we still have it in the shop, but it's with like a little bit of cursive on the end, and they're just kind of solid color.
Oh, very nice.
There was also this one, but I don't know if that'll work quite as well.
We can use it in another step. But I really like the check ones.
So you're taping it all down and then cutting it afterwards?
Yeah. So here's my cutter. And now I will just, since it's, you know, it's a bit transparent, I will just go around and leave the spine covered by the washi tape.
Okay. I'll go grab my X-Acto knife.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna ask one more question. We're getting some more questions, so if you have any questions, leave them for Claudia in the question box. But Oh, this is a good one. What is your favorite theme that you've ever made, Claudia?
Oh, that's okay. It's difficult to choose, but I think it was this picnic that I mentioned before. So I have it here on my other journal, my previous journal. This was from my Mellow Days. Let me just find it for you. But it's difficult because, you know, sometimes you really love some themes that you do.
Yes.
And then some others you don't really like in the end. You're like, okay, so this, yeah, tell me.
Sorry, is your biggest source of inspiration like scrolling through to see other people's themes, or do you use something else? Like, I don't know, is it inspired a lot by your personal life?
Actually, both. Sometimes I see somebody doing a theme and I feel like that would be work perfectly for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I save this idea and then of course, you know, you credit the person.
Mm-hmm.
And some other time I just get this feeling that I want to make something about, you know, like I want to make something about books. Let's look for inspiration. And you go on Pinterest and you find some pictures, or you have some places you've been to. For example, like this summer I was to a very beautiful place in Spain, a white, one of those white villages. And I got super inspired by it. And I think I made my whole, let me find it, my whole theme from August from there.
Oh, wow.
So like this was a door that was there. The place is called Friciliana. It's in the south of Spain.
Frifiliana? Oh, Frifiliana. That's
I like this.
I saw that on your Instagram.
And then I did, yeah, so they had, you know, all these doors and these vases and these colors, and I really loved it.
Yeah.
So this was an example of something that was completely original because it was inspired by my videos and my souvenirs from the place and my pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this is also explained on my page. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing that.
Wow. Do you have the one too?
Everything. Mm-hmm. Sorry, say that again.
Could you show the picnic one as well?
Here you go.
Ooh.
This one I really like doing this one. It was pretty fun. Because then, you know, the picnic.
How did you do the cloth? Is that with Crayola as well, the checkered cloth?
No, this is all watercolor.
Oh, okay, wow.
So you see, it's like Crayola wouldn't give the, you know, they have a bit of a thick tip, but like with very fine brushes, you can paint all the details.
That's absolutely gorgeous. I love that one.
I really liked it. Yeah, it also took a while, but I really liked it. And then it was fun, you know, to use this idea of the theme. Like, for example, this is with Crayolas. You see these ones. They were easier to do. There is a video and a tutorial about this on my page. This is September last year. And then it was just a very funny theme, you know. I really love the colors. I love the idea of the checked cloth.
Yeah.
It was funny.
I'm writing these down so I can make sure to get the links from you, and we'll share those on our stories after.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So I've got everything taped in. It turned out really cute. I like it very much.
Yeah, so we can paste this too. You can use some washi tape, or you can use some, you know, glue stick. I'm actually going to use the washi tape dots that I also got from the Washi Tape Shop a while ago. You know, these are very fun because they look like little petals and they are dots, but
yes,
you have like so many shades of them. They're super beautiful. I don't know what I'll do when I finish them. So I'm just gonna take a couple of them and use them to paste my little roses. There we go.
I think I'm going to go with one of these thin ones. These are, I think, some of my favorite sets. It's
Oh, it's so nice.
a set of thin, very detailed tapes.
They're very pretty. Are they also from your shop?
Yes, they are. I forget what they were called, but I think if you search like a thin set, one of them was like winter something, and
Mhm.
So yeah. Okay. And for the calendar inside, are you stamping it in somehow or writing it by hand?
So we can do both. Depending on the time we had, I had prepared printed version.
Ooh, okay.
So that's the April calendar, like on 2 pages, and I did it with I have a little phonemo.
Hmm.
So I did it with this, but it's just basically making the calendar down, so you could perfectly do it by hand.
I think I'll print it as well then. That's a great idea. Have you tried other printers before or just the phonemo?
No, this is the first one. Do you have one too?
Yeah,
Or
I have a phonemo as well. I don't think I can print it now though, because I would have to use my phone for it.
of course. So if that's okay, I'll just, paste this to see the final effect.
Yes.
And then we can see if we have, whatever you prefer, if we have time for Q&A or
Yes.
if you have time for the other page, like whichever is better.
We can finish off the calendars and whatnot, and then unless there was anything else you were going to add, like flowers or anything, but we can flip over the camera and take the rest of the questions after.
Sounds good.
We're good on time, so no worries.
Perfect. So you can draw or paste or just print from a normal printer and then cut up and paste your calendar. And then I would also just write a little title here.
And have you added the detail for the book papers yet?
No, here, right? Like the pages.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let me do that before. So I'll take a black liner. And then we're going to do the pages here. So just the beginning of the book, the end of the book, and then just a few black lines to give the idea, right, that there are multiple pages. So thank you for reminding me that. There we go.
Or you go inwards a little bit, I think, like this. I'm looking at
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Mine goes in the other direction, but because of how I did the cover.
Oh, okay.
No, but look, yours looks very good, so it's perfect.
Cool.
I also added 2022 under April, just like kind of looks like a subtitle, like a second header to our book.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just as a last touch, we mentioned we would like to add a couple flowers. So I'm just going to do a very small floating flower on the sides. There's one on the left and one on the right.
In the same style?
Yes. So, just freehand,
Mm-hmm.
very easy, and quick strokes. And I think I like how everything blends together.
This turned out amazing, Claudia. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then I will just add little April here too, just above the calendar. And you can, one kid could add whatever they wanted inside, like birthdays or a motivational quote. I think it's just nice that you have like a book in the book.
Yes. It's very creative. It's also a great way to use the tape because it's like, it functions as tape as well, not just decoration. Oh, wrong. Are you all done?
I think I'm done. We're just adding some more outline here. And yeah, we're done with the cover page. Here we go.
What are you going to do with the other one that you drew? Like the one you kind of tested?
Well, I don't know. It's here. You know, it's just, let me find it. Because I have a lot of trial stuff.
Oh,
I have two now.
to April.
You know. It's okay, you know, my journal, since I also use it for creative purposes, it's not a problem if it's a bit messy sometimes.
Mhm.
Because then I'll just focus on the month that I have to do. And then this will be my actual setup. So I starting from here because here I'm already preparing those lists that I care about. So like tasks, goals, a wish list, and then the readings that I have for this month or that I want to get for this month.
Mhm.
And then I'll just go on with the other pages, you know, like the habits and the reflections and the goals, the reviews. So yeah, I will. This is my real April. We start from here.
Do you share all of this on Instagram as well, and maybe YouTube too? Where can people?
I want to start a YouTube channel too. Like I have the handle and I have the space, but I still didn't have the time to actually make proper videos. And it's really because, as you know, like videos take up a lot more time
Yeah.
than just the page. And you know, you need to have the setup, you need to have the light. And sometimes when I finish my work day, there's just no light anymore outside, and it's a bit weird when you do it only with non-natural light, you know.
Yeah, that's so true.
So I would love to, you know, to make more videos. Like if people like it, I would love to make some more content live and also showing how we're doing something.
I would love it.
So thank you. So yeah, I do want to be more active on YouTube too, but I still haven't gotten around to it.
Well, thanks again. We can maybe flip the camera around and take the questions. Does that sound good, Claudia?
Of course, let me flip this around. There we go.
I love it so much. This is so fun, especially with the flipping.
I'm so glad.
I'll take a photo afterwards and share it, and then also share what yours looks like.
Yeah, I will send it to you. I will wait to post mine because I still need to post March.
Yeah.
So, one thing at a time. I'm a bit below.
What did you do for March?
It's still top secret.
Oh,
You'll see. No, it's related to homeware in general.
Oh, okay. You know, I think I saw a theme. We might have shared it on Washi Tape Shop, but it's like those plant staircases with like, it's kind of inwards shut.
I feel it's so pretty. Like I really want to do one plant one again sometime because I love it.
You're big on plants, right? Do you have a lot?
I don't have so many of them. I have some like here in the background. Like there's one there, there's one over there, there is one that I really like here. And a couple there. The thing is that some of them die when I'm not around. And since, you know, I'm from another country and my boyfriend is from another country, so we travel a lot to visit our families. And sometimes we have to leave the plants alone for a long time. So I'm going to focus on those that will survive the longest without me. But I love them. I really like them.
That's cool. Here, I'll take a look at some of the questions. So one of them is just, I know you said this already, but what notebook are you using? Looks like the paper quality is very good, Claudia.
Yes. So I've showed you two, my latest two. Let me just take them again. So the one we were working on, it's a Suki from Notebook Therapy. And the page is 160 GSM thick. The other one I was showing you, so the one where I did the picnic theme, is from My Mellow Days, and this was 180 GSM. They do not have this anymore, but they have a watercolor one made with real watercolor paper, which is very good as well. I don't have it here, but I usually use thick ones, like these ones that I was showing you. Not too thick, but like pretty thick, because I paint a lot and I don't like it when, you know, when it bleeds, or if they get really crinkly sometimes.
You also said you travel a lot, and I'm just curious because the bullet journal that you use, you mentioned you put everything in it. When you travel, do you do travel sketching, or you watercolor anything as you're exploring? Like when you went.
I used to. I have like this little palette of watercolors that I bring with me, and if I, you know, if I have the time and I can just stop somewhere and do something, I love to do it. I have it's another notebook, actually. It's a watercolor traveling notebook, something like that. But I like it. I like it. Yeah. I try to always bring something with me for journaling or coloring when I go around.
Yes, I love travel sketching too. I can't wait to get back to it. I haven't really had much time, and also not traveling, but
Yeah, I mean, the situation has been a bit weird, I think, for everyone.
yes. Another one is how to be better in calligraphy.
So as we were saying before, a lot of it is really practicing. And I think you really have to look at people doing it. At least this is what I did. And there's a lot of YouTube videos or tutorials on Instagram and from other people that really, you know, they do it with you step by step. And I need to check the handles, but there's a couple people I'm thinking of on Instagram. If you want, Ioana, then I can also give you those names, and we can share them. Because there's a lot of people really wanting to teach you, and they're really great. So I would say watch videos and then try. You know, just try. Just take a brush pen that is not too expensive and just go trying, because you'll destroy that one.
Oh, do you destroy brush pens when you're doing calligraphy? Is it because of the upstroke?
I mean, you're not supposed to, but the more you use them, the more the brush tip will get a bit more loose, you know? So when you're doing it just on a paper, just to practice, you don't want to use a very expensive one. At least in my case, I'm like, okay. And then of course you have to put some pressure, and I think it's difficult to understand how much pressure you need. So first you will maybe put too little or too much, sorry. And so yeah, the poor brush pen could get hurt in the process.
That's a great tip with not using a super expensive brush pen. And I relate. I think I don't press hard enough. I've tried it a few times, but the downstrokes aren't really different from the upstrokes. So
Yeah. But again, also I don't do them perfectly. Like sometimes I'm just like, I cannot. Like, you know, like you really want to do something, you see it, and you want to try to get it as natural as this person does, like so perfect, and you know, you do something else. So it's really like, but just trying, I would say, practicing.
great tips. Okay. Top 3 stationery items.
Top 3. Okay.
Yes.
Not prepared. Okay, so stationery in general. So first, I think I already mentioned the calligraphy pen that I usually use, well, the lettering pen. So that's the Tombow Fudenosuke, which is, in my case, is this one, and I have another one that is similar, but just a bit, let me see, just a bit bigger.
I'll get
You will put it there.
we'll post it.
So for lettering, so this is for calligraphy.
Mm-hmm.
So this one I really like. And then in my case, the other thing I always want is watercolors. Even if someone would say, if that's too long, I need something quicker, I just love to get them out, add a bit of color with my watercolor, and that's it. And then the fine liners, absolutely, because they are perfect for writing, for doing boxes, for sketching. So yeah, I would say these top 3. And the ones I'm using now, the ones I'm using the most are the Pigma Microns.
Oh, yes.
So these ones, I like them. They're really good. And then I recently also tried these ones that are by Molotov. Well, at least the brand is Molotov, and they're also very nice.
Cool. Those are fine liners. Have you ever tried the Faber-Castell?
Yes, yeah. Actually, they were my first fine liners
Oh,
ever. They're very good as well, but since they were the first ones, I finished them. So I don't have them anymore. But they were the very first ones, I have to say. The box is here somewhere.
cool. They were my first ones too, and I keep buying them again. I tried Micron before, but I found they dried out a little bit for me. Maybe it was just a
It may be. Actually, I think, yeah, the last one I bought from Faber-Castell were the sepia ones, like the lighty brown ones. Those were very nice.
yeah,
I use them just for sketching, not for bullet journaling, but I really like them.
cool. Those are great stationery items. Then, oh, okay, this one's great. What can you give us advice for beginners?
As beginners of bullet journalists, I guess, right? Probably that, or
Yes.
yes, we'll go with that. And so my first advice would be to, think that you're doing something for yourself. You are starting something because you like either journaling for whatever, for being more organized, for your mental health, just to have a creative break. So you don't have to live up anyone's standards. Okay, so you have to do something for yourself that you find amusing doing, or that you aesthetically like when it's done, because that also, that's kind of pleasant when you see something that you like that you did. So just keep this in mind. First of all, you are doing something for yourself, and then just look a lot at what other people are doing. Try new techniques. There's a setup. Maybe somebody does a weekly that you think is amazing. Try it, or beautiful cover page. Try something similar. There, in my experience, you really learn a lot from the others. And in case you're posting something, if you say that you are copying or inspired by someone, there's absolutely no problem. Like I've never had these kind of problems as soon as you credit the people for the inspiration. So don't be afraid to do anything. And if you post something, don't be afraid to say that you were inspired by someone.
That's great. Yeah. And along my journey of using a bullet journal, I've changed how I use the weekly spreads and like the sections themselves very often. And it's often inspired by ideas that I've seen online. There's lots of creative ways, to set up your habit trackers, different formats and stuff like that. So,
Same. Yeah.
let's take one more. How about a bit more about traveling? So what is a traveling sketchbook? And can you share yours really briefly? Or maybe if you can tell me where, like if you've posted about it before, we'll share the link to that on our stories.
Okay. Actually, I haven't really shared anything about it, I think. But maybe I should post a couple of pages that I did this summer. So I've seen, I think for a lot of people, it's different concept, because I've seen like travel notebooks and they're very nice too. Like they have this, like they're a bit smaller and they have this little cord that you use to secure them. And in my case, like the one that I like to use for traveling is watercolor sketchbook. Is by Arteza, and it's like this big, yes, this shape. The thing is that I don't have it right here.
Oh, that's
so, but
crazy.
And the thing about it is that since the paper is very good and it dries really fast, so if you open it like just like this group, and you can just sketch something, and then it's gonna get dry very quickly, and then you can just go on. And I used to have it in my bag, and if I had if I took a break and I could sit down, I would take it out and sketch something, in a park or on the beach or on the train.
Do you find that when you're sketching, as opposed to taking a photo, you get to know your surroundings a little bit more? Is there
because you spend time observing it, right? Like you actually look at the thing and you try, and something I really like is that you try and catch the colors that you see in that moment. And sometimes when you take a picture, it's not that anymore, right? Because of the light or whatever. So even if it's not precise, because you have to do it really quickly, I like to have something that I sketch in that moment to remind me of how I saw the thing in the exact moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you again, Claudia, for helping me set up for April, and also the amazing tips and bullet journaling advice that you shared.
Thank you so much, Ioana. It was a pleasure, and I love how you handle this, and it was super nice to meet you.
Really nice to meet you too. And someone else here, it's not really a question, but someone said, can we expect to see Claudia in another live? So everyone loved it, and I would love to see you again in another live. Maybe we can.
I'd love to. Thank you.
So yeah, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday to you, Claudia, and also everyone watching, and thanks for tuning in. And if you created either this April spread or a different April spread, make sure you tag the Washi Tape Shop and also Claudia so that we can share the photos that you guys create. All right.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Ioana.
Thank you so much. Bye, Claudia.
Bye, everyone.